Hey, Mom Squad. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Maisha. This is Mom's Game 2, the podcast. If you've listened before, welcome back. And if you're new here, I am so glad that you found me. In this week's episode, we are talking about handling your mental load. As moms, I know that we handle so many things. Usually it is up to us to worry about the cooking, worry about the cleaning, worry about the grocery shopping, the meal planning, the meal prepping, the kids getting to and from school, the kids getting to and from events and things that they are doing, their extracurriculars. And all of that compiles into your mental load. So if you ever find yourself struggling with all the things that have to be done, are coming up, will need to be done, this episode is for you. So keep listening. Story time for the week. So usually I take the remote to the front TV to my room when I go to bed because my children waking up in the morning and watching TV was becoming an issue. And as I move further along in my parenting journey, I am learning to control the environment, not so much the kid. So, kids are kids. They're going to make bad choices. They're going to test the boundaries. It's what they're here for. That's how they learn. That's how they get on whatever path it is they're going to be on. So, control the environment, not the kid, right? So typically when I go to bed, I take the remote in my bedroom as part of controlling the environment, because if my kids have access to the TV, they will turn the TV on. And if the TV is on, they are not in any way, shape, or form doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. It doesn't matter if it's something they want to watch or not. If the big bright box is on, they are focused. So Monday night, I forget to take the remote into my bedroom. Tuesday morning, my son decides before getting ready for school he wants to watch a couple YouTube videos. Usually that would be fine because he is pretty responsible about waking up in the morning, taking care of his stuff, and then watching TV. Tuesday morning was not the case. He woke up, he got dressed, turned on the TV, no brushing the teeth, no combing the hair, no eating breakfast, no washing the face, bags not packed for school, nothing, right? He's just sitting there watching Minecraft videos, his favorite. So he wakes up between 5 and 5:30, and I usually get out of bed around 6 to make sure that he is up and ready to go, which gives him an hour to get up, get ready for school, and get out the door if he's not awake when I wake up. So I wake up, I come out of my room, walk up the stairs to the living room. He doesn't hear me come out of my room. I scare the crap out of him. He shuts off the TV. I was getting dressed. Well, no, you weren't. And it's fine. It's my fault for leaving the remote up here because I know that if the remote's here that you guys are going to use it. So I take the remote, put it back in my room and tell him, get ready for school. We're struggling with hygiene with this kid right now. Like, he'll shower, but he's been using the same bottle of body wash for 4 months, meaning he's not really soaping up like he's supposed to. He doesn't wash his hair unless I say something repeatedly or I wash it for him in the kitchen sink because he doesn't like to. Combing his hair, he's got the thickest, curliest, most luxurious hair I've ever seen on a man in my life. Just flat out. His hair is amazing. And I cried when he cut it about 4 years ago. maybe 5 years ago now. He was like, I want a haircut. It's too hot for this. For your visual, even though he has extremely curly hair, it's also extremely long. So when I combed out his hair was touching his lower back, a couple inches from his butt. However, because his hair is curly and shrinkage is real, he wore it in an afro. He had a lot of hair. So now that it's cut short, that curly texture is like, it's giving him hell. He can't comb through it, not thoroughly. And I'm trying to teach him techniques to, thoroughly comb out your hair and then style as you want. He likes the curls. He doesn't want the afro, so to speak. So I'm trying to teach him techniques to comb through his hair, what products to use at what time to encourage curls so he can gather and get the hairstyle that he wants and get himself on a hair care routine. He ain't having it. So one week the problem was that he was putting braid and twist gel in his hair and he couldn't figure out why his hair was getting hard and it wasn't doing what he wanted to do. When I pointed it out, he got so upset. He wasn't mad at me per se, but he was mad at himself for putting the wrong thing in his hair. So I just told him, you just have to slow down some. Pay attention to what you're doing. All you have to do is read the label. You're looking for things that say leave-in conditioner, not just conditioner, but leave-in conditioner. You're looking for curl creams. You're looking for curl custards. You're looking for curling gels. We have all of those things. So we're at this point where we are trying really hard to encourage him to take care of himself, but I still have to step in and make sure that he is taking care of himself, but we're trying to give him the leeway to do it himself. So Tuesday morning when I woke up, he's watching TV. He's not ready for school. I combed his hair for him because he doesn't want to do it. He took a big old handful of leave-in conditioner and he slapped it in his hair. No rub between the hands first. No wet the hair first. It was so bad. Right? And he's upset. He's visibly upset that I am once again helping him with his hair. And I'm like, baby, do you really want to go to school with this big old plop of curl cream in your hair that you can't comb through your hair because you don't want to comb your hair out from root to tip or from tip to root as I teach him? No. Okay, well, then let me help you. So of course he's angry, right? When he comes home Tuesday, he's like, I don't understand why you insist on saying my hair has to be perfect. Baby, your hair doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be combed, okay? That's it. Because if you don't comb it, we're gonna have to cut it off. And in all of this, his only request has always been that we do not shave his head bald. He does not want to look like his father. His father wears a low fade light. We're talking 0-1 guard. He does not want that. So all this to say, my my son has been adding to my frustrations surrounding me not being able to handle all the things because of his hair. And I am trying to control the environment by making sure that the things that he needs for his hair is right there at the sink. So all he has to do is use them. It's a struggle. It's always a struggle. But man, these kids will make you think of things that you have never thought about in order to do things that you have never thought about doing because they need you to help them. They need you to set those boundaries. They need you to control the environment. And whether they like it or not, whether they know they need it or not, they do know that when mom is on top of her shit, things get better. They get easier, And that's why we're talking about mental load this week. The part where when mom's on her shit, things get better and things get easier is a reoccurring theme in my life, in my household, all the time. And it's driving me nuts. So let's talk about it. So I do want to apologize for being a little nasally this week. I'm getting over a sinus infection, but it's hanging on for dear life. So if I sound a little nasally, I apologize. I I can't do anything about it. I've tried. Anyway, so today we are talking about mental loads, invisible loads, invisible labor, anxiety of planning, all of those things. Those are all different names that I've heard for mental load. As a mom, parent, of course, here we talk about it from the mom's point of view. What is a mental load? And why does it seem like the moms are always the ones who are carrying the brunt of it? So, your mental load is all the things that you carry around in your head that come together to constitute taking care of your family and keeping your household running. The steps that you take to making sure the living room is clean, the steps that you take to making sure laundry is done, the steps that you make in order for your kids to be in extracurriculars, those all are part of your mental load. As moms, my thing is I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed fairly easily, especially when there are 60 million things going on in my house, right? So with 4 kids, one of them who has a full-time job, 3 of them who are in school, the 3 younger ones keeping up with all of their extracurriculars, their after school activities, Girl Scout activities, that is a struggle. That is a big part of my mental load. Being a stay-at-home mom has its own set of invisible labor. And I saw a reel on Instagram the other morning about invisible cleaning, which definitely ties into your mental load. And it's the things that are done so frequently that your family only notices that you do them when you don't, type of deal. The living room is just always clean. Animals are just always taken care of. The snacks are just always there. The dinner is just always taken care of. The lunches are just always made, right? That's invisible labor. And the only time that people notice that invisible labor is when it's not done. Mom, where's my lunch? Why is the living room so dirty? We don't have any toilet paper. I don't have my favorite snack. That is all invisible labor. And it was funny because as I was reading the comments to that particular reel, it was, your kids are old enough to clean up behind themselves. You're just doing too much, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, but you can't really make that judgment just based off of a 30-second clip. You don't know how old her kids are. You don't know the abilities of her kids. You don't know if she's a mom like me who had cleaning your household weaponized when you were a child, and you choose not to dump that on your children. Teaching them to clean, yes. Weaponizing it, no. And so that adds a lot to, that invisible labor. We'll talk about that in another episode because that's a whole thing all in itself. But it was eye-opening to see how many people were just like, your kids can clean up behind themselves. Your kids can help you clean. Make your kids do it. And it's like, yes, kids need to know how to clean. That is a part of parenting, to teach your kids basic skills and cleaning up behind themselves. But that wasn't the point of what she was trying to say. That's not how I took it anyway. Just the people don't realize all the things that you do unless you stop doing them. It's been a burnout week for me. I haven't done much of anything. It's been easy meals, light cleaning, because I'm just over it all. I'm tired. I'm so tired. I am burnt out. So it's been a light week. And, of course, I'll go back through and pick all the things up because nobody else is going to do it. They'll do it, but they won't do it. So there's still always things. I'll get it together. It's fine. Me handling the mental load of 6 people, a husband, 2 dogs, and 5 ferrets, a whole household, an acre and a half of land. Yes, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I also, have other things that I do, like this podcast. My mental load involves keeping up with all of the 6 humans in my household, me included, And everything else, with the exception of the motorized vehicles, the lawnmower, the four-wheeler, the mini bike, the cars, the trucks, all those things fall under my husband's belt. I take care of everything else. So that mental load is huge, right? On what days we're doing what things, and when I have him home to help me with things that I can't do, and, when I can plan family things based on his schedule. I have to keep up with my oldest daughter's schedule so I know when I need to be awake at what time to get her to work on time. I have to keep up with my little schedule to make sure that I know when they're going to school early, when they're staying at school late, when they're not coming home on time, when they need extra clothes for school. Because, yes, I will tell them, I will remind them, and sometimes they will remember, but not always. They won't always remember, and it's annoying. But those are all part of my mental load, making sure my dogs make it to the vet because they're my dogs, right? Part of my mental load. Same thing with my ferrets, along with making sure that they have the food that they need, that their cage is getting cleaned, that their room is getting cleaned. All part of my mental load. And I know you're saying, but Maisha, don't your kids and your family help with those things, like taking care of the animals and things? Yes. But have you ever instructed a kid to clean something and it's literally always the bare minimum and they will never clean it to the extent that you will? That's my kids. So I'll say, hey, go clean up the noodle room and the noodle cage, and the noodles are my ferrets, just in case you guys didn't catch that, and let them out of their cage. My children, when I say that, it's empty the litter boxes, clean the food and water dishes, any poop or pee or messes that they have in their cage that's not in a litter box because they're jerks, clean that out. Empty the litter boxes that are in their cage because I don't let them free roam when we're not home or when we're sleeping. Clean those litter boxes out. Fresh food, fresh water. When they get out of the cage, they get a certain type of meal. Make sure you set that up for them. Sweep them off the floor, make sure everything's clean, and then let them out. Grab their dirty blankets and stuff so they can get washed, put clean ones in. That is my checklist of cleaning out the ferret's cage to get them ready for the day. My kids' checklist is empty the litter boxes, not the ones in the cage, but the ones in the room. Give them fresh food and water, make them their soupy, which is their special meal when they get out of the cage, and that's it. Right? So even though they do the things, I still have to go back and do the things because I can tell them and remind them, and they'll kind of sort of do it, but not all the way. So they're learning, and I accept that. But I'm also not going to hover over them and you didn't do this like this, you're supposed to do this. I try my hardest not to do that. What I do instead is make them checklist. Making the checklist is still part of my mental load. So when you are feeling run down, burnt out, and you're telling your significant other or your friends or your mom group or whoever you talk to that you're feeling burnt out, that you're feeling overwhelmed, you're noticing that you're not as affectionate with your partner, things like that. Those are all things that come from handling a large mental load. So I have heard mental load broken down into 4 parts: anticipate, identify, decide, and monitor. Anticipating what's coming up, people's needs, the needs of your household, identifying what you need to do in order to take care of those needs, making the decisions, which I'd be on decision burnout. I don't know about anybody else, but I'd be on decision burnout. And I tell my husband, I tell him frequently, I'm tired of making all the decisions. Can you just tell me what you want me to cook? I don't want to have to decide. Can you just tell me what you want? No? Okay, I guess I'll make all the decisions. I'd be burnt out. And monitor. Keeping up with the decisions that you've made and making sure that's like still the best decision for your family. And that breakdown makes so much sense. so much sense. So, with all of that being said, at the bare minimum, mental load is just the mix of planning and anxiety based on that planning. And I know that's really oversimplified, I know, but that's what it is. And we as moms take on so much of that mental load just doing all of the things, right? Like, and I know it's not like this in every household, but it's like this in a lot of households. If you are noticing that you are just having problems or you're struggling making decisions, you're having problems or you're struggling with making a plan, sticking to the plan, keeping up with the decisions that you've made, you might just be on decision burnout. Like you might just be on decision overwhelm, just tired of making all the choices and all the decisions, right? I get there frequently because I literally make all of the decisions and choices. And there are things that you can do to help decrease that. We'll talk about that in a minute. And this isn't to, I feel like I always have to quantify that this isn't to say that moms do it all. Moms do a lot. But dads do a lot too. And there are dads who carry this mental load just like moms do. And I always feel like I have to make sure that I throw that in because while this podcast is about moms, right? There are dads that are going to resonate with this. But I can only speak for myself as a mom. I'm not a dad. There are dads in my life who I speak to about these things, but I'm not a dad. So I can only give my perspective as a mom. And I always feel like I need to say that because it's just specifically that I'm not a dad. So I just want to throw that out there for the people who are like, she's always talking about how, dads don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm a mom and I'm speaking from my perspective, period. With that out of the way, let's talk about how having a huge mental load like I do can affect you in all of your facets of life. So, obviously, the biggest one is stress. How you deal with stress, completely up to you. You know what I'm going to tell you. Self-care is monument to making sure that you're good, right? Got to have that self-care. Burnout is another one. Like, just when you go into I can't mode, I can't make the decisions. I can't. I just can't do it. Yeah. I get there frequently. And I know that has a lot to do with my anxiety and my depression, and then loading the mental load of 6 people into my one little brain. I know that has a lot to do with it. But burnout is real. And there are things that you can do to do better, right? And do more or do less. I guess technically you want to do less, right? You want to make it to where things are in a place so that you don't get burned out. We'll talk about how I try to do that in a minute, but yeah, I don't do such a great job. Relationship turmoil is a big one. Lashing out at your partner and your kids because you are overwhelmed and burnt out and stressed is huge. Huge. I try not to do it, but it definitely happens from time to time. So, making sure that I'm taking those breaks. Take those breaks. Get all the things out of your head. Journal is a big one, right? Communication is the biggest. Talk to your partner, talk to your kids, Tell them that you are overwhelmed and you need them to clean up behind themselves. Talk to your kids and tell them that you're overwhelmed and we're doing easy dinners for the week so that you can pull yourself together. Talk to your partner. Tell them that you are overwhelmed with all the things in the house and you are taking a step back. Communicate why you're overwhelmed so that your partner knows and understands. They may not completely understand. I find that my husband doesn't completely understand, but he definitely tries to understand, which is all I could really ask for in this lifetime, is that he just tries to understand where I'm coming from, right? And he does. He really does try to understand. It's very sweet of him. Uh, Sleep problems. As I yawn. Sleep problems. Sleep problems is another big one that I run into. I get insomnia. I toss and turn a lot. I can't fall asleep. And it's purely because I can't get my brain to shut down. So if my brain is not shutting down, I'm just going and going and going. I'm not getting rest. I'm not replenishing. And therefore, I'm burnt out. You see how this is all kind of a circle effect, like they all just kind of roll into one another. It's annoying. It's so annoying, but it is a thing. And the biggest one, holding on to all of the stress and the sleeping problems and the anxiety can lead to physical and mental health problems beyond just anxiety and not being able to sleep. Like, everything is such a balance, such a balance. And we already know that stress is the number one cause of a lot of health ailments, right? Stress can cause just about anything. And making sure that you are handling that stress in a healthy manner is extremely important when you're talking about being able to handle your mental load. Let's talk about some ways to manage your mental load. Now, I do want to start this by saying that I know that my ways of handling my mental load are not going to work for everyone. And some of these things I have definitely mentioned previously, but the first thing is to talk to your partner and your kids and anyone else in your household or your life that is adding to your mental load. I know it seems obvious, but over the past couple of years, I have noticed that I take on everything in my household in the sense of cooking and cleaning and laundry and animal care and the invisible labor that keeps the household running. We'll group it like that. The grocery shopping, the making sure things are there. Those things. Do the kids help? Sure. Are they thorough? Absolutely not. They're kids. Does my husband help? Sure. Does he also make things harder for me when he helps? Absolutely, because he's my husband. And he doesn't mean to. He does not mean to. It's just how he does things. And it's taken me a long time. Me and my husband have been together for 15 years. 15 years? Yeah, we've been together for about 15 years. And it has taken me a long time to understand that I am an organized cleaner. I pick things up, I take them, I put them where they belong. And that's how I clean. I take it from one place, I put it to another so that everything is still clean as I'm cleaning. So that if at any point in time I decide I'm not doing this anymore, I have not left a tornado behind me. My husband is a destructive cleaner. What do you mean by destructive cleaner? My husband takes all the things out of the cabinets, all of the things out of wherever, and then starts putting them away, throwing things away. But everything has to be emptied out first. The problem with that is a lot of the times, because we do have 4 kids and dogs and ferrets, and 80 million things always going on in our household, and family who we like to spend time with and sometimes needs us, and things happen. When he's taken everything out of the cabinets or out of the closets or pulled things off the shelves and put them into this pile, and then he goes to put things away and throw things away, and he's going through things and he gets called away, you know what happens? All those things are left there because he now doesn't have time to finish the task that he started. And you know who usually ends up picking all that crap up? Mom does. It's me. And we've had so many conversations about this being a thing. Just don't do it. But he does. And that's how he works. And that's fine. But being able to accurately communicate how frustrating it is for me to get the help from him, but getting the help from him in a way that causes more stress for me is hard. I don't want to change him. I know that this is his process, but expressing how his process stresses me out is good for him to know. Communicating that I am tired, communicating that I am overwhelmed, communicating that I am overstimulated, communicating that I just need a break, communicating that the kids have XYZ going on this week and I need help. Just communicating with your spouse and your kids about the things that are going on, the things that are coming up, the things that needs to be done. Not only does it get things out of your head and out in the open for everyone else to understand what you have going on, but it allows the people in your household to say, okay, cool, you need the kitchen cleaned? I got it. Are they going to deep clean the kitchen? Probably not. Are you going to have to go back and sweep the mop the floor, maybe wipe down the countertops or scrub the stove? Probably. But you won't have to wash the dishes. You won't have to load the dishwasher. You won't have to clean off the table. Like some things will get done, right? And every little thing that your family does helps take little pieces off of your plate. So communicate. Communicate with your partner, your kids, your family, whoever, your boss, your coworkers, whoever it is that's adding to your mental load and making you want to shut down. Communicate to them that that's what's happening. Communication. Talk about it. Talk about it like an adult, though. Don't blow up. Talk about it before you blow up. That's important because once you blow up, nobody's listening to you. You just look crazy. Ask me how I know. Delegate task. I don't remember which episode it was that I talked about this, but delegating task is so important. And like I just said, are they going to do things to your level of want? Probably not. Probably not. But it's a start. It takes 2-3 steps off of your to-do list. I have already stated that next year we'll be hiring a maid to come in and deep clean the house once a month. It's going to happen. Whether my husband likes it or not, I don't care. It's happening. It's happening because I don't want to have to do it. I'm tired of having to do it. It takes so much time. It takes so much effort. And usually by the time I'm done deep cleaning our house, the whole house is a wreck because kids. So I'll be hiring a maid to come in once a month and deep clean, and probably once a week to thoroughly clean. Like, because seriously, I don't need somebody to come in every day and clean, but like once a week, just come in and do the things that I haven't got to. The baseboards, the dusting, the windows, things like that. Like the stuff that I haven't done. The floor in the bathroom that is always disgusting no matter how many times I clean it. Scrubbing down the walls in the shower, things of that nature that I do, but I hate it. And I put it off until it's really bad. And so having someone come in to do those things is going to be amazing for me. And that's something that I will be delegating out. So, in delegating tasks to my children, do I teach them how to do things properly? Sure. But in my household, the only one who has a standing chore to clean up behind people is the 23-year-old. She cleans the kitchen. She likes to go in there and cook. She likes to go in there and make messes. She is grown. That is her contribution to the household. That's it. Do my other kids go in there and help? Sure. Sometimes I'll have them go in there and unload the dishwasher, reload the dishwasher, walk them through wiping down the counters or the stove and table, sweeping, mopping the floors, wiping down the refrigerator, because they do need to know how to do those things. However, it shouldn't be a daily thing, and I shouldn't be holding their life hostage behind chores. So that is my seesaw, my balancing act in giving chores versus having kids clean the whole house, because I'm not for it. I don't think that's okay in any way, shape, or form, which is why things don't get done thoroughly when my children have to do them. It's not that they don't know how, it's that I don't expect them to do a deep clean. I literally just expect them to do the bare minimum. Pick things up off the floor, put them back where they belong. That's it. I'll do the deep cleaning. It's not your house. It is your house, but it's not your house. Like, you live here. Yes, clean the stuff up. Yes, but at the end of the day, as the adult, as mom, it's my responsibility. If you can afford doing a meal prep kit, HelloFresh or whatever, do it. Makes life so easy. I already said in another episode, we're going back to HelloFresh. I was doing emails with Walmart and I don't like the setup. I don't like it at all. It's not okay. It does take some of the guesswork out of meal planning and meal prepping and all the things. Like, it does help, but it's still more work than I want to put in. So we'll be going back to HelloFresh next year. Well, probably right after Christmas. Yeah, because, yeah. HelloFresh just sends everything to me. It's easy. Sometimes I have to add some extra protein to whatever it is I'm cooking. I'm okay with that. Sometimes I gotta add some extra vegetables. I'm okay with that. But it's not a consistent thing. Usually it's enough food. It helps us portion control. And it's usually really good food. So there's that. Yard work. Yard work is another one. I do have my kids go out there and help me with the yard work. Hubby's out there when he has the time, but that's another thing we'll be delegating going forward next year, because I don't have the patience. We have 1.5 acres of land. I'm not mowing it all. I don't want to. We don't have a riding mower. We have a push mower. I'm not doing it. I hate it. Hate it. And then we live in a piece of land with a very high water table, so it's mushy. I'm not doing it. I'm over it. Not doing it. So delegate your tasks. But leave the kids out of that delegation, because it's not really their responsibility. There's that. Asking your husband to take on specific tasks that you want him to take on. So, like, for me, that is fixing things around the house. Please take care of the fixing of things. That's it. That's all I need you to do. Take care of the fixing of things. I'll do the majority of the other stuff. So what that looks like for us is, if something's broken, it's up to him to fix it. If we need a new piece of equipment for our household, washer, dryer, refrigerator, stove, dishwasher, water heater, all those things are up to him to deal with. I'm not dealing with any of those things. Nope. And that works out very well for us, because he enjoys doing those things and I do not. Not even a little bit. And the last thing on the tips to decrease your mental load, or at least sort it out some, utilize a to-do list and prioritize it. I love this. For those who personally know me and listen to this podcast, like, if you know me well enough, you know that I am a planner girl through and through. I love my planners. I have so many planners and I use them. I use them for all the things. This year, I switched from a paper planner to an iPad and GoodNotes. Great choice, because my iPad does several things, whereas my paper planner did not. So I love my iPad. I love my Apple Pencil. It is amazing. It's an amazing duo that helps me keep things in order, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. 100% recommend. Okay, so I do my to-do list in time frames: yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. And of course, those things are forever changing. But as long as you have the list, you can prioritize what needs to be done right now, what needs to be done today, what has to be done in order for our life to continue moving. If I don't have the mental capacity to deal with it today, is it going to be good? Or should I move some things around because this is a necessity and these other 5 things on my to-do list are not a necessity? They are just a want to get done. That is how I use my to-do list. And it is so helpful in getting things done. I highly suggest that you use a priority and to-do list to get your things done and taken care of. And that's the end of the episode. That's all I got for you guys on this. I did go on a couple of tangents. Sorry about that. But it's things that I feel really passionate about. So hopefully you got something from today's episode. Hopefully you learned something new about yourself or your life. Got a little... All right, you guys, let's talk about this week in games. So these are just a couple of games that will be releasing in the next week that I am excited to either watch a playthrough of or play myself, depending on if I have time. Gangs of Sherwood releases on the 27th, Xbox, PC, PlayStation. But it looks like a graphic-heavy game, so maybe it's not so sad. Either way, if you guys remember Fable, that is the first game that I played all the way through and still play to this day. It's literally one of my favorite games. It reminds me so much of Fable, except for the co-op is actually co-op. It's not like give the baby a controller so they can follow you around co-op. It's like actual co-op, which I'm so excited about. So I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait to play it. It's going to be awesome. Like for real, for real. Comes out on the 30th. PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. It's definitely a cozy game, an arcade-style time management game that is set up as a visual novel. God, if you haven't looked up the previews for this game, please do yourself a favor and look it up. You will love it. They're so cute. TV? I want to say it's TV. I couldn't find a lot of written things about this game, but I did get a couple of videos, and it's just straight pixel art combat game, single player. It's coming out on the 30th for PC, Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation. And it looks like a really cute game, like old school Zelda type of vibe, but it's just literally just a combat game. I might play it though. Combat games aren't my whole thing, but there are some games that I do love that are combat strictly. Truck and Logistics Simulator, garden, cooking, power washer. We've all played one. So this is just another one, and it's coming out of early release and going to PC, PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox on November 30th, which I'm going to play it. I'm not even going to lie. Even if I don't play it very long or very much, it's going to get played. The Lost Legends of Redwall. I'm excited for this game, but before I play it, I'm going to read the books that it's based on because I think that is such a cool thing. I know Agatha Christie has a video game for a couple of her books too that I can't wait to play, but a narrative puzzle adventure game is what they're calling it. And it's based on the books, Redwall, the Redwall book series. I'm super excited to read these books and then play the games and compare the two because those are like my two loves just all balled into one, and I'm so excited about that. It's going to be great. Steam World Build. It's a mining game. It is a mining and crafting game at its core, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like it's something just a little bit different because it's got the old school feel, but the world's coming to an end, whatever. You have to build a mining town and super cool single player game. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. If you like the city building, dungeon crawling type of game, this will be right up your alley, I think. It releases on the 1st of December, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PC. So I can't wait to play this. I think my kids will enjoy it. One of the few things we'll be able to do together. So I think that'll be awesome. And last but definitely not least, there is Dragon Quest Monsters. Okay, so here's the thing. The Dark Prince it looks like it's just coming out to Switch. I've never heard of this game before I started looking for games that are coming out in the next week, right? But this looks like Pokemon. I have no hate on that. I don't play Pokemon like I used to. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. I tried to get back into it as I got older. I found I didn't enjoy it as much. But I know, what is it? Arceus? That one looks like I might be interested in, just the whole open world game. So I might try that. But this game just looks like Pokemon. You're out seeking monsters to build an army for battle. Like literally just Pokemon. Okay. So, but it looks cute. It's kind of got a different art style. So if you enjoy Pokemon, you might enjoy this game too. And that is it for this week in gaming. Hopefully, there are some games coming out that you are looking forward to, and I cannot wait to hear about all of them. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Mom's Game 2. There is a private Facebook group, Mom's Game 2. Answer the questions to get in the group. It's a thing. I just want to be able to say you agreed to the rules before you came in here, so when you act a fool, I can kick you out and not have a conversation about it. That's really all it is. You can find me on Twitter, Mom's Game 2, Instagram, Mom's Game 2, and TikTok, Mom's Game 2. You can find me on YouTube, Mom's Game 2, and on Twitch. Starting this week, so in 2 days, I will be streaming again Wednesday mornings from 10 till whenever. So hopefully I will see you there. All the links are in my bio and in the description. So if you would like to follow me anywhere, just look for those links. Have a great week, you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.